Listen, here's a question for you. Have you ever felt guilty? Not understanding what exactly? Not for a specific act, not because I offended someone or broke something. It's just a background, lingering feeling that you're some kind of person, insufficient. I owe you something, someone. It's not clear to whom, it's not clear for what. I think most people know that, but few people wonder where it comes from. It's like it's just a part of a person, built in, by default. But what if it's not the default? What if someone had installed it very carefully? That's what I want to talk about. It's not about religion as a faith. That's another conversation, and I'm not going to convince anyone here. It's about a specific mechanism, about one very elegant design that religious institutions, not all, but many, have perfected over several thousand years. The mechanism is simply called, at first they tell you that you are to blame, then they explain how to redeem themselves, and they keep you in this cycle indefinitely. Do you understand? Not you did a bad thing, and you're bad by nature. These are fundamentally different things. How does it work? And why does it still work, even with people who haven't attended any church in a long time? That's interesting. The usual response to this is something like this. Well, religion is just about fear. They intimidated people with hell, so they obeyed. The Dark Ages, the uneducated peasants, everything is clear. I've been thinking that way for a long time. It sounds logical. Crude power is crude tools. But there's a problem here. If it were just a matter of fear, the mechanism would crumble as soon as the fear disappears. As soon as a person ceases to be afraid of a specific punishment, he should be released, to leave, exhale. But he doesn't leave, and he doesn't exhale. Something holds you tighter than fear. Wait, this is where I want to stop, because this is where the present begins. Fear is external. You get punished if you do something wrong. It works as long as someone who can punish is around. When the supervisor leaves, fear leaves. But guilt is internal. You're punishing yourself without a supervisor. Moreover, you create a reason for punishment yourself. It's a machine that runs on self-replication. One researcher, a psychologist who did just that, described it this way. Guilt without a specific subject is not an emotion, it's a state. It's chronic. It's like background noise that you stop noticing, but that doesn't go away. And that's what's interesting. That's exactly what the Christian concept of original sin is about. It's not your fault for what you did. You're to blame for being born, for being human. Sin is built into nature, not into an act. Brilliant, to be honest. From the point of view of the control mechanism, this is simply brilliant. Because if sin is in an act, you can stop doing that act, and the matter is closed. And if sin is in nature, you can never close the issue. You're always in debt. Always. See how it works in layers? The first layer is psychological. There is such a thing. It is very difficult for people to live with the feeling that they are bad, and at the same time do nothing. It's unbearable. The brain is looking for a way out. And if you are offered a way out, you will grasp it with great relief. Here's the structure. You are told that you are sinful. It creates tension. Then they say, here's how to fix it. Confession, prayer, donation, observance of rituals. You are doing. The tension drops for a second. Easement, almost euphoric. And then it grows again, because you've sinned again, just existing. Psychologists call this a cycle of anxiety and relief. This is the same mechanics as in dependencies, not in a metaphorical sense, but literally. The brain is attached to a source of relief even if the same source creates anxiety. Do you understand what that means? A religious institution is both a source of pain and a source of treatment, an ideal closed system. The second layer is historical. Here's an example that surprised me when I came across it: the medieval practice of indulgences. We've all heard about it. Buy a piece of paper, get forgiveness of sins. It sounds like gross corruption. But if you look at the mechanics, it's not just corruption. This is the monetization of guilt. At some point, someone realized that people want to pay for relief, not because they are forced to, but because they need to do something about this feeling of guilt. It is physically unbearable. And if there's a clear price, they will pay it with gratitude. Martin Luther was furious about it, but not because he was against guilt as a mechanism, but because he thought it was blasphemy to trade it. Wine, in his opinion, should be free and permanent, no indulgences. Suffer for yourself through faith. This is a dispute within a system about how to properly operate one mechanism.
The third layer is modern. You'll say, well, that's all history. It's a different time now. Maybe, but here's what's interesting. Look at any major megachurch, especially the American one, but not only that. The structure is the same, only packaged differently. You're not good enough, but if you sacrifice, pray, and come, God will bless you. Are you rich? So he believed correctly. Poor? So you don't believe enough. Are you sick? He doubted it. This is called prosperity theology, and this is a perfect update of the medieval mechanism. The guilt is now not for original sin, but for lack of faith. But the structure is the same. You're always a little short. You can always give more. The door never closes completely. The fourth layer is an unexpected angle. And now here's the thing. I'm not saying it was a clever plot. Probably not. Most likely, no one sat and thought, how do we build a control system through guilt? It's just an evolution. The religious institutions that held people together survived. Those whose guilt mechanism worked better received more resources, more power, and more opportunity to spread. This is not a conspiracy. This is a selection. Which, in a way, is even scarier, because a conspiracy has authors who can be brought to justice, but evolution doesn't.
And that's where the fun begins. Because if you understand the mechanism, you start seeing it everywhere, not only in religion. Look at politics. Any populist leader works according to the same pattern. First, you realize that something is wrong. Someone is to blame. Migrants, elites, the West, liberals. It doesn't matter who. It's important that there is a culprit. And here I am. Here is the solution. Follow me. Vote. Support, and it will be better. The tension subsides. Not for long. Then it grows again, and again an enemy is needed. It's the same structure, artificially created guilt or anxiety, and a proposed solution that keeps you addicted. Or advertising. You're not young enough, not handsome enough, not successful enough. Your skin, your teeth, your car, everything is not good enough. But here is the product. Buy, and it will feel a little better for a second. Then it's not enough again. This is not an accidental similarity. It's the same mechanism, repackaged for different contexts. Because it works. Because he gets into something very basic about how a person works. We don't like to feel inadequate. And we really want someone to tell us what needs to be done to make it go away.
And do you know what the strangest thing is in the end? I was starting to think of it as something that was done to people. There is an institution, there is manipulation, there are victims, a clear picture. But the more I think about it, the less I like her. Because it turns out that we want it ourselves. Not in the sense of it's your own fault. I mean, this need is real. The need for someone to name your guilt, structure it, gave her a uniform, and he showed me the way out. This is not weakness or stupidity. It's a way to deal with chaos. The world is unpredictable. Life is often unfair. People dying and no one knows why. And in this context, a system that says, this is why, this is what to do, is not just manipulation, she's a comfort. The problem is not that people believe in it. The problem is that it is very easy to turn a system created for consolation into a control system. Sometimes it goes unnoticed, even by those who created it. That's the thing. The mechanism is not necessarily evil, but what it does to people is another matter. Listen, that's what I'm thinking about in the end. We are all very good at seeing this mechanism in others, those whom we consider naive, for those who got caught. It's easy to see from the outside. But here's a question that I can't really answer myself. At what point in my life do I do something not because I want to, not because I think it's right, but because otherwise I'll feel guilty? And who exactly told me that it was for this that I needed to feel guilty?